Welcome back. We're about to do figure exercise 8-7. So I'm going to go back in, I'm going to open up my files and find that. And so here we go. 8-7 is right here. We're going to open it up. Now I'm going to turn the grid off because, like I said, it bothers me. And I'm going to zoom to extents to get it centered. So I just typed in Z enter, E enter. So what I've got here is I've got basically the start of my blocks. Now the only things I've really got going on here is a couple of rectangles and a circle. Okay, now I'm going to put some lines in just so you can see what I'm looking at here. I know that right now, I know that I'm going to have a couple of circles come down. I'm turning off my snap. That circle has got to be a cylinder, and it's going to come down and line up somewhere out here, and it's going to do that on both sides of this. Okay, so that's going to be there, and it's going to also show up over here, and it's going to be that diameter. Now the trick is I don't know how far back this sits on that plane, and I don't know how far in from the edges. That appears centered, but you know, we won't know until we get drawing on it. So let's go in and we'll start drawing. So I'm going to go back to my object line, and I'm going to look at a couple things. First off, it has me draw a line from D1. Well, here's the problem. This is why I actually did this. D1 is actually the point right there. It's that point right there at the end of that line. Well, if I don't have D1, I can't find D1. It's one of those weird things about the way the book was written. So basically, I've got to draw a line that starts right here at that endpoint, and then I've got to follow a set of commands. In this case, I'm going to go and tell it to go at 0.5 less than -90. Well, if I don't have that point to start with, I can't do that. It's going to come over here to perpendicular, and it's going to come back up 0.5. Okay? This line isn't supposed to exist if you follow the instructions in the book, but you kind of need it. It's just like you need these two light blue ones I made. Okay? Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over and look at this guy and say, okay, what else have I got going on this? Well, see this? This is actually a half cylinder that sits up here centered. It's concentric for centers, but it's not. It's actually not sitting at the front of the plane. So let's go like this. I'm going to go and make a circle, and it's going to be at the center here, and it's going to come out until it touches that guy. All right, and then I'm going to draw a line from the quadrant to the quadrant, and then I'm going to erase these original lines I made. Then I'm simply going to trim and cut that off. There's my cylinder. Now what's funny is if I project around, that's what that is. That is that side of that cylinder. So I can figure that stuff out no problem. The other thing is, this right here is a cut-off cylinder that has a notch in it. Right like that. And notches back, to about the halfway part. Okay? So once I've got that figured out, I can use some basic geometric construction tools and make this thing happen. So follow with me. I'm actually going to not do what the book tells me to do, and I'm going to show you how I'm doing that. First off, I'm going to create some phantom lines. I'm just going to use my hatch layer here so you can color code them. I'm going to make some lines that come up and do like stuff like this. Okay, this line comes out, and if I do a line that comes off this one, say at about like we'll call it 2 inches less than 135 degrees, which is okay. Then I'm going to mirror it over. I was supposed to be 225. Sorry about that. So I did my math in my head backwards. Notice how anytime it hits that reflection line, it goes straight down. Look, there's where things line up. So if I bring this one straight out and I extend that to match it, I should have a line when I extend this line out that matches it right here. That's the back edge of my cylinder. Well, that means I should have another line right here. That's the front edge of my cylinder. And if I look, watch what happens when I copy this. If I copy this line I made and these lines I made from here straight over to there, look, they match up. That's it. There's my cylinder. So I just have to come in here and add a few other lines and erase a few lines. Actually, let me undo a couple things here. Okay, redo. Alright, so there's that. I'm going to change my line type real quick. Do this one. Now look, if I do a line that comes off this point right here, straight over to that, and then down. Okay, and then I trim, using this as my cutter, that line out, and I trim using this as my cutter, that line out. What I'm left with, if I trim out that last piece, is the notch that's actually supposed to be there. The other thing I've got to do is add a line that goes from here all the way across this, okay, and I'm pretty much done. I can actually now go in here and erase pretty much all this stuff. Okay, there's my notch. There's right here, there's the plane that's that surface. I need a notch up here that goes halfway across. Well, that should be a hidden line because it's hidden from view, and it's at my midpoint. There it goes, and that's it. That's all I've got to do to make this part happen. It really and truly just has to look like that. All I did is I made this first U that you follow right here, this first U, by projecting from the quadrant straight down and then coming off this edge right here out. That's where D1's located. I made that 1/2 inch by, what was it? I think it's 1.5 inch by 1/2 inch U. And then after that, since I know what this is supposed to look like from my diagram and my picture, the rest is proportional geometry. This is a concentric circle. It shares a center with this one. It's only a half circle for the cylinder. It's that this edge right here is this edge right here of the cylinder. This quadrant right here is this line we see right here. So that means this whole surface is this arc. Same thing with our bottom piece. You won't see any edges, you'll just see the arc. So this I see right here is this arc right here, and it notches down right there, which is that notch right there. Real simple. Have fun.